Cats. Cradle under the star.
Welcome back, fellow Clock Tower fans. Welcome to another episode of Deep Cuts, the Clock Tower interview podcast series provided by Team C.U.T.S, where we deliver the details to you, the Clock Tower community. This year marks 30 years of Clock Tower, the survival horror pioneer cult classic. That's a lot of words. That terrorized the Super Famicom in 1995 and has made an official localization thanks to WayForward, Sunsoft, Limited Run Games, and Capcom through Clock Tower Rewind, which hits its 1-year anniversary this October. We welcome some special guests from Clock Tower Rewind. Please introduce yourselves, special guests.
My name is Suzi Hunter. And I play Miss Mary in Clock Tower Rewind. And yeah, I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for having the both of us on.
Hi, I'm Cat Protano, and I voice our main girl. And yeah, super excited to be here.
So glad that you were able to take the time out of your days to stop by and come in. Really appreciate it. Welcome, Kat. Welcome, Suzi. You guys are playing. You guys have played major characters in this game, and your voices can be heard in the motion comics for the game. To just kind of back up a bit. What do you guys do in the industry, and how did you guys enter your field?
What do I do? Well, I do pretty much everything. I do video games, commercials, anime, animation, lots of audiobooks. And I got started in 2020 because of the pandemic. I literally graduated during the pandemic. We went on spring break. They told us not to go home, not to come back to campus. So I finished my degree at home on my laptop. And I also got laid off. I was working in a restaurant. So obviously we could not work in a restaurant during that time. And I was like, I have nothing to do. And I actually was playing the Final Fantasy VII remake because that had come out right around then, and I finished the game and I was like, man, the voiceover in that was so good. I kind of want to do that. So I bought a microphone. Yeah. And I was like, let's do it. So I bought a little USB microphone and set up in my mom's walk-in closet because I was living in the city in an apartment, but I didn't have a job at that time because I got laid off. So I moved out of my apartment into my mom's house and was just in her closet because it was the only closet that had room to even situate yourself in the whole house, and was just recording auditions constantly. And then from there just was taking classes and learning all the good acting stuff. And then I moved to LA in 2021, and now I'm here, and the rest is history.
Kat, what are some of the roles that you've done in the past outside of Clock Tower? What can people hear you in?
I'm in Monster Hunter Wilds as one of the hunter voices. I'm in the new Panty and Stocking season as Scanty. Yeah, and I love Panty and Stocking, so that was very exciting. I'm in another anime that is airing right now called City the Animation.
I love Nichijou so much.
Yes,
oh my
right?
God.
I was when that audition came in, and I was like, wait, is this Nichijou? I was like, oh my God, I need to book this. So I was and it's just Nichijou part 2, just with different characters. It's so funny and so much fun to work on. So been working on that. And I'm in Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, and I'm in the new Story of Seasons that just came out 2 days ago, which I've been addicted to playing the past few days. I've been staying up till 4 a.m. playing it because I love cozy farming sims. And a bunch of random audiobooks and commercials that, you can just see in passing.
Congrats, yeah.
Thanks.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Suzi, everybody in the horror space knows you as the Sphere Hunter. I've been a fan of your videos for years. I love the amount of work that you put into your videos. I've watched just about everything that you've done Resident Evil. But how did you get into voice acting, and what are some roles that you have done outside of Clock Tower?
Firstly, thank you for saying all of that, because I don't have to say it, so thank you. But also, like, genuinely, thank you. That's amazing. Thank you for watching. So I got into voice work mostly because I sort of was doing these like massive horror game documentaries, and you know, a lot of people like throughout the years were always saying to me like, oh, you should do voice work if you haven't done voice work, because you have a very unique voice, right? And I was like, oh, you know, that's really cool, but like, you know, having like been in the entertainment industry in the past, I was kind of just like, that's really hard and that's really difficult to just do, you know? And I think like most people don't understand like how difficult that is. Like I'm getting on like my soapbox like back then, you know, like I can't just do that, you know? But like what I have found like over the years was like, oh, the more you kind of like cover games and like the better they do, you sort of meet a lot of other people in the industry. And so, you know, around 2020, when I made my Cyberpunk video, back when that game first came out and it wasn't as great as it is now.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of the, I was really excited for it because I love the source material, like the original tabletop game by Mike Pondsmith. And that sort of, that level of unreal hype that I had for that game would like not allow me to dislike the game, you know, because the game was like so lore heavy and like rich with detail from the tabletop game. So I made a review or whatever, just like I don't like calling the videos reviews because they're not really reviews. Like I made a love letter to the game around that time, you know, and through that I sort of met a lot of people from CDPR over in Poland, and I found that a lot of those people at CDPR are like huge horror game fans, you know, like Resident Evil and Silent Hill and even Clock Tower. I've had like hours long discussions with CDPR people specifically about all of these games, and I remember I was like, why don't you guys make a horror game? Like what's your problem? And you know, no spoilers, but in Phantom Liberty they kind of do something horror related like towards the end, but neither here nor there. To make a long story short, through a lot of like discussion, someone at CDPR was like, you know, gave me that classic question of like, why don't you do voice work or whatever? And I was like, I almost like flow charted my response of like, you can't just do that, you know, like, and then I was like, oh wait, I'm talking to someone that actually works on video games, you know, and they were like, well, we could give you an audition if you want. And I was like, okay, sure, you know, and they were like, no guarantee that you're gonna get it. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I did that and I got it. And
nice.
Yay!
Thank you. So from there on, that was kind of like what sparked my interest in doing more voice work. And so ever since then, I've just been sort of auditioning whenever I can for stuff that I think is good, or I think it would be good for me, I should say. And yeah, just having a lot of fun with it. And since Cyberpunk, I've managed to do a lot of voice work, so I'm pretty excited.
Just build up the IMDb profile. Build up your whole resume. Yeah, I remember seeing the announcement that you shared that you were in the game. You were added to Cyberpunk, and I was like, oh no way, that's so cool. Suzi's in there, and then you've done a bunch of you've done a bunch of other indie projects, and then I think you've also played. Did you play Trish in one of the Devil May Cry?
I did.
The mobile game, right? Or was it something else?
Yeah, in Peak of Combat. Yeah, that was a surreal moment for me because Devil May Cry is like another like childhood, you know, Capcom kind of formative game for me. So that was kind of like, I need to do my homework again and make sure I don't mess this up, you know. Interesting story with that, very similar to Clock Tower. that started as, oh, well, you know, we want you to just do the title call. So it was like, Devil May Cry, you know, like when you press start.
Intimidating,
and this game started like that too for me, where it was like, oh, originally you were going to press start and it would say like, Clock Tower, rewind, like that.
Really?
And that's all I was going to do. But then I think that idea changed at some point. So it was like, oh, okay, well, why don't we use your voice for something else? So, yeah.
Oh my God.
To make a super long story short, that's how that happened.
No, that's so cool. So that leads into my next question. Any voice performances in particular from any media growing up that may have influenced your decision to enter voice acting?
Yeah, I have always been a massive fan of Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, who, if you're a horror fan or just a fan of anything with voice acting in it, you've definitely heard her voice. And, you know, she was like the Major in Ghost in the Shell, and you know, I could list her credits all day, but you know, that's like that's probably like the biggest one for me. You know, because I grew up watching like Cowboy Bebop and Ghost in the Shell, and you know, Dragon Ball Z and all that, Sailor Moon. She's one of my biggest inspirations, but like other actresses over the years, like Ali Hillis, who voices Lightning from Final Fantasy, Courtney Taylor, who I love as well, as plays a ton of characters, Ada Wong and Jack from Mass Effect. Like those are like the three pillars for me as like a deep voiced femme fatale, you know. So.
I have literally so many. It's funny that you say Lightning because maybe this is like gonna make me seem like a total loser, but Final Fantasy 13 was actually like the very first Final Fantasy I played, and at this point I played all of them and I love all of them so much. But yeah, like Lightning in that game is so good, and like Sarah is so good too. So I have based a lot of my stuff on like those two actresses, and like Laura Bailey has always been like a huge inspiration for me. I'm sure with a lot of people too. Yeah.
Legend,
literal legend. Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, like another legend. Jennifer Hale has been a huge one for me too.
Yes.
And like her and oh my God, I'm blanking on names, but a lot of like the actresses from all the shows from like late 90s, early 2000s, like animated shows, they're all like a huge inspiration for me. Another one that is like not as said as much as I think Kelly Sheridan is a big one for me, and she voiced Barbie throughout like all the Barbie movies through my childhood. So like I've always wanted to be like her. And then Cherami Lee is another one who like I'm a huge Persona fan, and like her performance in Persona 5 was like so amazing.
She snarks at me in Cyberpunk, which is
amazing. I forgot she's in Cyberpunk too. Her range is crazy because like Cyberpunk and then like like Fairy Tale are like completely different roles for her. So she's another legend. Like, yeah, pretty much anyone on the Critical Role cast I look up to. So many people. I could like list them for another hour, so I'll cut myself off.
Yeah, so many voices over the years have just been so formative, and just we recognize their voices, and voices just have that impact as like part of bringing a character to life. And it's especially cool that Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, for example, has a role in Clock Tower. She sings "Sharp Laughter," which is cool that like you guys are just all together in this project.
You could imagine for me that was kind of like, I just went on a whole diatribe about her. I was like, oh wow, there's my name next to her name.
Right? Yeah, that was surreal.
That's crazy.
I gotta ask, are you guys, this is listed on the questions, but I know this is kind of obvious. Are you guys horror fans? What are some of your favorite horror series? So you've listed a few. One of you maybe covers horror games, so...
Oh yeah, I feel like Susie would be much better at this question than me.
Well,
Yeah.
like, what do you have any like favorite horror series that like that you really like?
I love Resident Evil and Silent Hill. We were like just talking about that earlier. I love I love Leon Kennedy so much.
Oh,
I really loved back in the day. I say like it wasn't that long ago, but when PT came out and then it disappeared.
Oh my god, PT.
Yeah, I love that. That was like the era of like when like YouTuber Let's Plays and that kind of stuff. So I remember watching like so many YouTubers play PT, and like I'm kind of a wimp, I'm kind of a weenie, so I'm not very like if I'm gonna play a horror game, I'll probably have my boyfriend play it and I'll watch him play it just because then it's less scary for me.
Just kind of hide behind the couch and just like
exactly. I can hold one of my cats while we're playing and I won't be so scared. Because like I love Resident Evil, and like whenever a new Resident Evil comes out, like I want to play it so bad, but I'm just like to my boyfriend, I'm like, can we get it and can you please play it and can I watch? So and then I'm excited for the new Silent Hill as well. And like I really love a lot of like the indie horror games, like the ones that are a little bit more niche. Like I don't know if anyone's even heard of this game, but I played this back when I was like a youngin' on during the Tumblr days. It's called Wada Nohara, and I think it was like Big Blue Sea or Great Blue Sea. It's a pretty niche
sounds
game.
familiar. I haven't played it, but it does sound familiar.
It's one of those games where it's like, oh, look at this cutesy game with all these like it's a cute witch and all her little sea animal friends, and then it gets really like screwed up and scary and like Ib and like off, and obviously like I played Five Nights at I remember the day they dropped the original Five Nights at Freddy's, but I'm like so bad with jump scares, so I like things that are more like creepy and like have a slow burn or like more thrillers. So like I'm gonna watch a horror movie, I'd rather watch like Hereditary, where it's more like creepy and like unsettling rather than like something full of jump scares. But that's just me being a weenie, so
This might come as a surprise, like given like all the horror franchises I cover, but like when it comes to like horror movies, I'm not very good with them, and I don't usually I don't usually watch them. And I think the biggest reason for that, I've been trying to decode this in my brain for like my entire life, but like I think I love horror games more because you're put into like you as a person are like put into like a horrific situation, but the game is about you overcoming that, generally speaking. Of course there are other horror games where you like die at the end or you're trapped in eternal torment or whatever, but like whenever I'm like sitting back and I'm watching a horror movie, I'm just like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Why did you go that way? He's right there. Like, and it's like, I can't escape the horror situation, like, and I think that's why I love like, especially like Clock Tower is like, if you get the true ending, it's like one of the most empowering horror endings ever, so like, I'm way more drawn to that over like, I'm trapped in this seat and I can't escape.
You get it. Like I worked on, I did ADR for a horror film maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago, because they had like filmed the whole movie, and with ADR sometimes I guess like the original actress had like an Australian accent. They're like, we want her to have an Italian accent, so can you come in and just like redub all her lines? So I did that, and there were so many jumps, and usually when you're dubbing they'll play you the scene beforehand so you can see like how their lips move and stuff, and I got jump scared so many times in that session, and it was so scary that I was just like, I hate this, but I love working, but I was like, this is so scary, there's so many jump scares. But yeah,
that's a different kind of horror. That's like you're monetarily locked in to the fear. It's incredible.
That reminds me of when we previously talked to the voice of Jennifer from Clock Tower 2, Rumiko Barnes. She mentioned a similar because she voices Miku Hinasaki in the U.S. Release of the first Fatal Frame, and she remembers that like the lights were like dimmed down, and it was just like Miku on the screen, and she had to like read her line. It was like a very like spine chilling moment for her. And then she mentioned for Clock Tower 2 that she recorded in a backyard for 3 hours. But that's another story. I wonder what like the process is for like voice acting. Is it like, because there's different types, I assume for like, I don't know if it's the same for video games. Just correct me on this. But what are the methods in, like, I know there's ADR and where you have to like dub something afterwards. But what percentage do you feel when it comes to video games? Is it like ADR versus like, oh, you get to throw a line out and then they get to animate your stuff over it later?
In my experience, it's kind of like 50-50. It really depends. Like, I work on a lot of JRPGs or like RPGs that come out of China or like different countries. So a lot of times we're dubbing those. But nowadays it's actually really cool with a lot of like localized games. They can actually program the cutscenes to have the lip movements match the timing of the English as well. So it's like gone are the days of, well, somewhat gone are the days of, you know, back when you would play a JRPG and like they would talk for like 5 seconds longer than the lips were moving. So a lot of times it's just to timing, and like a lot of the games I've worked on recently, we have truly been pretty free with what we can do, which is like really nice. 'Cause sometimes when you're locked in, it can be like, oh, I want to do this, I want to make this choice. So, you know, it's harder to like feel the emotion and act the way you would like really be in the scene when you're dubbing. So it's really cool when you get to work on those like AAA games. And I'm sure Suzi feels the same way working on like Cyberpunk and stuff. You get to like, they animate to you. So it is really cool when you play the game and it's like, oh my God, they literally like, that's how I was imagining the character doing it when I was doing it in front of the mic, and they like captured that perfectly. So that was really cool.
Yeah. What's really interesting about that, like with Cyberpunk, because like generally speaking, it depends on how they approach the recording process. Because like, you know, they have like a more traditional ADR setup where it's just you in a booth, you know, reading your lines to like nothing, to like no reference except for just like the character sheet, like the artwork on the sheet. But then like there's performance capture where you're either on a motion capture volume, like the big stage with nothing on it, with like a front facing like mounted camera that captures your face. But in Cyberpunk's case, I believe they do a little bit of performance capture, but they actually, CDPR has developed their own technology for lip syncing, and it's called YALI, Jali. And so like I did no performance capture on that game. I just did straight up like ADR. And when I saw the actual cutscenes of me, because it's like my face, you know, my character is basically me. Her face was like animating exactly how I move.
That's wild.
Because it's just like whatever this technology is like analyzing the way the person speaks and like animating off of that, which is like so like mind-blowing. And in that they could be like, oh, we don't have to have like a different facial performance capture for like Spanish or Japanese or whatever, you know, it just like that technology just handles it. So like if you change the language, you'll see me like perfectly animating, like speaking Japanese or Spanish and stuff like that. It's pretty wild stuff. Yeah.
Wow. That's insane.
That's so cool.
Yeah. But for this, it was we just read lines, I'm pretty sure.
Most video games, you literally are just in a room by yourself with your director and your engineer and client behind the glass, and you're looking at an Excel spreadsheet for many hours.
Yeah.
Imagine with this being a horror production, like the same way that you would hide behind a couch when you'd watch your boyfriend play the game. They're just hiding behind the glass, and they're just like, this is so scary.
It's like, director, this is scary.
This is so scary. This is exactly what we're looking for. Well,
my fear is real, and it's not acting. It's real.
The first fear with the first recording. How were you guys introduced to Clock Tower? Was it through this project? Was it any publication, like advertisements, word of mouth? Did you grow up with any of the games, or was it by chance?
I have a very quick answer to that, and it's I always knew about it, but I never really played the games because they're they weren't very accessible back in the day, you know, like as you guys know, like with the game that we worked on. And I always thought it looked really cool and really interesting, and I would read about Clock Tower as a franchise like while I was playing like Resident Evil or whatever. But then I really got into it with Haunting Ground, which came out in 2005, because that was sort of like a Clock Tower game before it became something else. And that, you know, I emulated it a million years ago with like a fan translation or something, and got to play it that way. And I wasn't very good at it. I'll put that
as
out there.
many of us have surely have, because the game is so ridiculously expensive to get.
Yeah.
So from there, Haunting Ground, then Clock Tower. Kat, how are you introduced to Clock Tower?
I was actually introduced to it thanks to like literally YouTubers like Suzi, like the people that play it for me. Like both like Let's Players, and also like I'm sure when it was like back in the days when people would just make like a video reflecting on the game and like putting jokes in and stuff like that. So that's how I was introduced to it. So I was like kind of familiar with it, and then the audition came in, and I was like, this art looks so familiar. How do I know this? And like, as I do with a lot of my auditions, I'm like, this is so familiar. What is this? And I like go on my extreme research hunt, and I was like, wait, I think this is Clock Tower. So I was like, I went and watched a Let's Play again, because it was, I mean, somewhat accessible, but still pretty inaccessible back then. And I was like, oh my God, the memories are flooding back to me. So I tried to watch it and then audition. But yeah, I wish that I had discovered it back when it was still like new. Like I always wanted to be like one of those people that knows like niche Japanese games that like never made it to localization stage over here. And like, that's why I watch videos about them. So.
Mm-hmm. And there's so many new games that we learn about because of more of those retrospectives. And it's so cool that Clock Tower has kind of remained, like still like an active discussion, especially now with Rewind, which I still can't believe actually happened. Like, it's kind of surreal that I'm sitting down with you guys talking about a Clock Tower game that you guys had part in. Is it at all like surreal to you guys when you guys, from like auditioning to now, like the game's out and you're like, I did this, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. I always have, I'm sure you could speak to this as well, Kat, but like I always feel really proud of like if I work on a game and like I could get like a physical copy of it, I'm like, oh, I worked on this, I'm in this game in some way, but like having it be Clock Tower, like a new Clock Tower release is like insane, because like it just wasn't around for so long. Like Clock Tower's presence was around, like, ever since it came out, because it kind of like birthed the like panic horror, like hide and seek kind of horror game. But it's like Clock Tower itself has been like out of the spotlight for so long. So to be a part of bringing it back in any way is kind of incredible, Yeah. It's an honor.
Yeah, definitely. When I first heard about the announcement myself, I jumped out of my seat. I was like, there's no way that Clock Tower is actually coming back. And just like the announcement of from WayForward, Suzi, you mentioned that you had part in it, but at the time we didn't know exactly what. And just the consistent flow of news, it's kind of like, this is so weird that we're getting like a consistent flow of Clock Tower news. Ever since like the last game was like Clock Tower 3, I think, wasn't it? Then there was that mobile game that came out. Have you guys seen that mobile game? It's like a very short mobile game, and like between Rewind and Clock Tower 3, like that was all we got. It's just like this 3-level mobile game, and you just like, oh, pick a place to hide,
I believe that one was really like the art style was very like not Clock Tower, right?
It was very chibi.
Whatever. Yeah. It's like a chibi game, yeah.
Yeah. So chibi Jennifer, chibi Scissorman type game.
Isn't Scissor Man already a little cheesy?
he's such a pint-sized little guy. How does he carry his scissors around like that? They must be supernatural scissors.
I almost said something as Miss Mary, but then I was like, that might spoil the game. How dare you?
You're wandering along the lonely halls of the Barrows Mansion. What's in your pockets?
Oh my gosh. A giant axe and scissors because I'm Scissor Man. I don't know.
I think I would have some sort of mysterious liquid that I was gonna let someone drink. I think that's what would be in my pockets.
Mysteriously wake up in a shed and hope that you have ham in your pockets.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. And probably like the master key, because how am I getting around?
That's true.
So fast.
Yeah.
But
yeah. One key does not open all doors. Keyword for anyone watching. What do you think it is for you guys about Clock Tower that has generated the fan base and the legacy that it has? Did you guys know about the fan hype that was surrounding Clock Tower before getting into this? Did you witness that during the time of development up to release? Like, how was that impact for you guys?
I remember the day they announced it. I knew it was it had its fan base, and I was aware of the game. But the day they announced Clock Tower Rewind on Twitter, I think it was, I remember seeing that and be like it got all the big YouTubers were like, oh my god, they're doing it. I was like, oh wow, people really wow, I wasn't expecting this at all. So it was a bit of a shock for me, but a very exciting shock because in my head I was like, they don't know that I'm in it. So that was cool.
They don't know.
It was very funny because I remember seeing a lot of talk around right before it got announced, and even months before it got announced, people just being like, where's a new Clock Tower game, like that. And I was just like, it's gonna happen, just wait. Yeah. It was really refreshing again just to see Clock Tower in the spotlight again and seeing people happy about it. That was very, very nice. Very nice.
I think for a period, I think you guys even got Clock Tower trending just because of that announcement. So I think that's a testament to how much people really want this series to come back.
Yeah, that was cool. I do remember seeing that.
Yeah,
it is. It's really cool because it's a very powerful affirmation to the people that hold the rights to these things, where it's look what we're doing. People are super excited about this. Let's keep making it,
Yeah. The industry, the gaming industry has become so much more accessible now. So it is so cool seeing stuff that would never in a million years get localized over here, getting its time in the sun over here is so cool. I remember back when, if you play a game that came out in Japan, you'd have to wait 2 years for it to get localized, and you'd have to avoid spoilers. So it was really cool to see how accessible it's all becoming, and how I guess Twitch and YouTube and just social media in general have influenced the industry, and that we're able to get teams like WayForward to be able to make it happen over here. So that's really cool.
How is working on this title different from other projects that you have worked on? How much research did you guys have to do versus just kind of coming up on the fly with the voices that you would eventually give them? If we're thinking about Jennifer, for example, Jennifer's had voices for games in the past. Mary has never had a voice. So what was all that like?
I could say from my perspective, pretty scary, because I had nothing to draw from. There was no reference. I just had artwork and the pixel art from the game, and it was pretty interesting because I don't know, Kat, if this was your experience, but when I entered the project, I was doing this title call thing, I was just saying the name of the game in the game. But then they were like, well, we can use your voice in another way. So they were like, okay, Suzi, why don't you read for every character? And then we'll sort that out later. Like, did you have that experience, Kat? Did you audition for everyone?
I did have a similar experience. I only auditioned for Jennifer, and then I booked it and I had my session. And in the session, they were like, well, we haven't cast everyone yet. So if you wouldn't mind just being the temp voice for like a bunch of people. And I was like, oh, of course. Yeah, easy.
That's funny.
And I did Lottie, and that was one of the temp voices I was doing. And they ended up telling me like, oh yeah, we just ended up keeping your voice for that one. And I was like, oh, cool. So place where I live now. The mansion, known as Clock Tower.
We're so lucky to live in a mansion like this.
I'm not so sure about it. I think it's really creepy.
But it's still better than being in an orphanage, right, Jennifer? Yeah, it's that is the fun thing of working on. I wouldn't call this an indie game, but games with smaller budget, smaller team. Is you kind of like are there and from the ground up a lot of times, and you are like so connected to the devs, which doesn't always happen when you're working on a AAA game. A lot of times you really just kind of meet if you're lucky, the writers, most of the time, just like, a producer or representative from the game company. But working on this, like, it was cool with like everyone there and like getting to do the scratch voice for a lot of things and being part of it all. And it kind of gave a lot more context to the game too. And I wasn't expecting to be anything more than Jennifer. So
yeah, sure. Again, it's a real honor to like be the first and only voice of this character. That's mind-blowing in its own right. But there was definitely a lot of research that I did, because like, again, I'm not like the most familiar with Clock Tower as a franchise. Like I've played like this game and then Haunting Ground, and I've seen everything else. I haven't actually like put hands on those games necessarily. So it was a lot of research, and I remember I sent in a few different takes of like, oh, I'll do like a straight up like just me American accent. I'll do like a full on like aristocratic like like British accent. And then I remember I got feedback that was like, can you combine them, like do like some sort of British American thing, which is like what I ended up going with.
Because Mr. Barrows loves helping children. And you will get to meet him very soon.
Because I was kind of like, I was sort of like thinking about it, and I was like, she looks like she could be either. She could be like an American or like a British person. But then I was like, where does this game take place? Like I was, and that was kind of like hard to like nail down like exactly where like the Barrows Manor is, So I kind of like freestyled a little bit with the voice, and I think what I came up with was kind of cool. And I mean, the people hiring me loved it, so like, yeah, I think based on fan feedback, people have seemed to really enjoy our performances. So I think we did a good job.
Yay!
Very uniquely, Miss Mary. When I was hearing the voices, when I got my copy of Rewind and just getting a chance to just like listen to everybody, Kat, you as Jennifer and Lottie, Suzi, you as Mary, Jenny Okobori as Anne, and the narrator, who I think recently did an interview with WayForward. She talked about like a bit of her experience with the game. It's like that stock scream that you hear of Anne is not a stock scream, for example. That's actually Jenny screaming. And Gab Smulders, who plays Laura. This is like the first time we're ever hearing like the full Clock Tower 1 cast is kind of being realized, and just kind of going through the story of Romsdal, Norway setting of just like these girls have been adopted into this manor, and just like the unfortunate, scary situations that they encounter, and finding voices for that. It now like stays as just kind of like this like really cool part of just like Clock Tower history. I wonder, did they ever like show Hifumi Kono, the original creator, did you guys ever like hear about like what did he say anything about your guys' performance, if at all?
Not that I've seen, but I mean, it'd be cool if he did. I hope he liked it if he saw it.
No, I don't think so. But I think if we've gotten this far, he probably likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I would hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remembered in the interview, he overall was like really like receptive to Rewind and just like loved what the entire final package was. You know, you guys bringing life to those motion comics that also had to just be animated. I guess they were just like still comics, and they had to be animated to that. I think just complements like the whole game experience. Imagine hearing like your guys' voices. Oh my god! Now I'm gonna like wish that you guys could have like voiced like every line in the game, but that would have been like a very daunting task.
That would have been so cool.
Listen, maybe in a couple of years they'll do like a deluxe remaster of Clock Tower, and we'll be able to do the whole game. I think that would be pretty cool, wouldn't you? Agree, Kat? I
would love to do the whole game. WayForward, take notes.
Imagine if we got to do like a full like performance capture thing. That would be amazing. So cool.
What I was thinking was like, what if there was ever like a WayForward stream where they just by chance happened to have all of you guys in. You guys would just like read the lines as whoever would be playing the game play the game. That'd be fun.
I would so do that.
Yeah, like. Hello, WayForward. I know you're watching.
I know you're watching.
They are surely watching. Please, WayForward. I guess now we'll have a moment to talk about your characters. Who is Jennifer, and who is Mary? We'll start with Kat.
I feel like with a lot of the roles that I do, I put a lot of myself into them. So I feel like she was a pretty lonely person, like in life and also in the game, just happening as she's, going through it all. So I put a lot of that in, and a lot of like I said, I'm a weenie in life with horror. So like I put a lot of my fear into it as well. Like the screams that we did, they all came from the heart.
I don't even know where to start with Miss Mary. She's a sketchy one. She's a sketchy individual. Yeah, I to sort of like piggyback off of what Kat was saying, I definitely put a little bit of myself in there. I obviously would never do any of the things that this character does in real life, right? But I do find a lot of joy in playing sort of villainous roles. Mm-hmm. And getting to sort of like, look down my nose upon another character is really fun. Yeah, she's terrible. She's horrible, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Sort of like, setting up all these poor little girls for like this sick game,
Yeah, what's wrong with her?
Yeah, like seriously.
Who hurt her?
Yeah, who did hurt Miss Mary? And also,
see, you can ask who hurt her, but I can ask, why did you hurt my children?
Oh my god!
Also, why did you hurt me? Threw me off a building.
Who is the one who was hurt? Your actions will tell in the game. One of many different endings, depending on how you explore. Is there a series, horror or non-horror, that you would like to work on, and why?
I want to say, but I shall refrain because I may be working on one that I have always dreamed of being. So I will not say that one, but I've always wanted to be in a Final Fantasy game, and I grew up as a huge Zelda fan. Like that was my favorite game ever. So I was like, I want to be in a Zelda game so bad. So I would love to be in a Zelda game, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, obviously. Literally like all the JRPGs. I'm a huge JRPG nut. So Fire Emblem I'd love to be in.
Fire Emblem would be so cool.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to be in the mobile game, but I want to be in like, and I'm very grateful to be in the mobile game, but to be in like a full Fire Emblem would be so cool.
I could say the same thing for Devil May Cry. I got to be in the mobile game, but I would love to continue
Yeah, right?
voicing
I want
Trish.
to be
Hello,
in the
Capcom.
game.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, I'm you know, to sort of like, again, like parrot what Kat said, like I'm really lucky to say that I got to work on two of my favorite things, Cyberpunk and Devil May Cry, especially as like one of the main Devil May Cry characters. But yeah, I mean, everybody knows what I'm gonna say. I would love to do something for Resident Evil. Like,
Oh my god, same.
even if it was just like not a performance, like if it was just like, oh, you get to write something, like a little scenario or something, like you get to design a puzzle or whatever, like just anything. I would love to work with Capcom on that. And I guess my super random one is I just replayed the entire Legacy of Kain like series, so like Soul Reaver and Blood Omen, and I love gothic horror aesthetic, like vampires and werewolves and all that. Like I would love to play a like hella Shakespearean tortured vampire.
Oh,
that's
don't we
like,
all?
yeah, you know, like that's like, you know, skin and bones mutated in some kind of way and is like, woe is me, like whatever, like that would be a dream come true. But yeah, those two things for sure. And like Kat said, there might be some really cool things in my future coming down the line where
we're in
maybe
NDA jail, but
yeah, you know, maybe there's a white-haired vampire in my future. Who knows? You know, I don't know.
I wonder who. It makes me think of like recently with like Resident Evil Requiem, for example, where they set up like that stalker enemy that's like chasing oh god, what was his name? The daughter of
Grace.
Grace is actually not Lisa Trevor, despite having Lisa Trevor's ish screams and like not like Lisa Trevor like the character, and like those are temp screams. Susie, maybe or Kat, whichever one of you, but Susie, this might be your chance to just swoop in and give them some final screams or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you know. Well, I'll say I don't believe them. I think they're lying to us.
Right.
Just like they're lying about some other things, you know, like they were like, no trailer, guys. We'll see you when it's ready. And then like 2 minutes later, they're like, here's the trailer, by the way. So I see this deceptive
I remember
marketing.
that. Yeah.
That
Was
You can't fool me type thing.
Yeah. No, I would love to be like an FBI recruit or something in that universe that is like a sheepish nerd, you know, with like big glasses. Like.
Oh my god, yeah.
That'd be so cool. Well, I mean, I hope that at least for Clock Tower, you know, hopefully the launch of Rewind shows Capcom and Sunsoft enough interest that you know, maybe we can see more of the other games come in, and maybe you guys can be a part of that too. You know, I can think like, you know, Kat would be cool to come back as Jennifer. I loved your performance as Jennifer, and that one line you had as Lottie.
Thank you.
I wish we could hear more of Lottie. And Susie, I remember one of your tweets was like, I played villains. I kind of want to take a break from villains. Give me some nice moms to play. And I was thinking like, well, you know, maybe I think you could be a good Helen for Clock Tower 2. Because there's two characters, I think. There you play as Jennifer and you play as Helen. Helen is the caretaker of Jennifer. It would kind of be ironic since you played Mary and then you would be a caretaker to Jennifer. But, you know, who knows?
That would be very funny.
Yeah.
I've tortured you for long enough, darling. Now it's time for me to take care of you.
The Scissor Man's got nothing to do with me. But,
I don't even own a pair of scissors.
Is there anything that you guys would like to say to the viewers watching this interview?
Just thank you so much for being fans and supporting us and supporting our work, and it's always really cool when you get to become part of a fandom. Just like, you know, we work on so many random things, and when you find out something that you worked on has such a dedicated fan base, that's so cool. And fans are always really cool to interact with, and getting to do stuff like this. So thank you so much for supporting us, and also thank you WayForward and Team C.U.T.S, everybody. Thank you.
And yeah, I'll echo all of that sentiment and add on top of it, you know, like, hopefully in the future, maybe if we continue making noise about Clock Tower, like, more stuff can happen. You know?
Please.
Like Kat was saying earlier, a lot of stuff is, you know, influenced by fan outreach and celebrating, you know, these like big moments and getting your thoughts out there on like, oh yeah, let's have more Clock Tower, you know, and possibly we can come back and do more of it. So yeah.
One can only dream. Yeah. One can only dream, and you know that Team C.U.T.S will be there, of course. And even like with like the indie stuff, so there's so many indie games out there that are Clock Tower inspired. So there is a demand definitely out there. Sunsoft, Capcom, please. You know, the 30 years of Clock Tower and hopefully 30 years more.
Yeah.
Crazy that it's been like almost a year of Clock Tower
I
Rewind.
know.
Does it ever like hit you guys that it's like, oh, it's like been 1 year, 2 years, 3 years since I've done the game, or does it feel like it was just still yesterday?
Literally feels. I remember like getting the booking email from my agent. Like it felt like literally yesterday. I remember like where I was and who I was talking, like where I was sitting, and yeah, it's crazy when you said earlier in the interview that it had been a year. I was like, is it really?
Just about, yeah, in October. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I feel that way too, because I got the collector's edition like pretty recently, and like that kind of like refreshed everything to me. I was like, oh yeah, this just came out, and it's like, no, it didn't. It came out like a year ago. Yeah, for sure.
Insane. For anyone that would like to keep track of what you guys are doing with your upcoming projects, where can people find you online?
You could find me at The Sphere Hunter, like pretty much anywhere, or Suzi Hunter, like either of those works. You'll find me.
Same with me, just my name, Cat Protano, wherever. I'm like most active on Twitter and Instagram, and trying to do TikTok, but still figuring that one out. So yeah, if you look at my name, you'll find me.
So cool. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to hang out with me. We've been planning this for weeks, so I'm glad that we were finally able to sit down and just talk about you know, Clock Tower and your guys' careers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us on. I love these kinds of things, and I'm glad that we can do them as performers.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for watching the interview. If you want to see more of Team C.U.T.S, well, first I should say, play Clock Tower Rewind, buy Clock Tower Rewind, download Clock Tower Rewind, share Clock Tower Rewind. Do it. WayForward, Sunsoft, Capcom, Limited Run, these great talents, and everyone else involved. For Team C.U.T.S, you can follow us on our YouTube, on our Blue Sky, on our Twitter. We have Redbubble merch inspired by Clock Tower for our 30th anniversary. So many other things that we've got going on. They may have been out by the time this interview comes out. Maybe not. But stay tuned. And happy 30th anniversary, Clock Tower.
Happy 30th anniversary.
Happy 30th anniversary.
Bye for now.
Later. Bye.